According to the ranking, he may not be world number one, but Djokovic is back at the top. Winner of the US Open, the final Grand Slam of the year. I think Del Potro was there and thereabouts, but we all knew that it would take a lot to beat Djokovic at his best. We also have a new women's winner. First time all 4 Grand Slams have been contested by different finalists and won by 4 different winners. Gents, Djokovic is back at his best. I think he has avoided Nadal and Federer, so I'd like to see him against those 2 opponents. But in terms of just moving and playing, he's just back at his best.
And I mean, credit to him. He won his games, and I mean, his last 2 games he won convincingly. So take nothing away from him. Yeah. It's not his fault he didn't face Fed or Nadal. So it's great to have him back in the mix amongst those 3 and just keeping it exciting. And
then the women's side, new exciting champion, Naomi Osaka. First Grand Slam final. I don't think she's ever gone past the second, third week in the other Grand Slams. New to a final, and she wins it.
She mopped the floor with Serena. I think that should have been the narrative this weekend. Yeah. We should be talking about how well she beat Serena.
She played
Serena is the empress of tennis. She's had ups and downs, and she's beaten up everybody over the years. She's retired Kim Clijsters, Justine Henin. Sharapova has never won anything because of Serena. And this girl took her out. And I actually enjoyed watching it.
I think, Cecil, we spoke about it. We said the movement was just beautiful to watch. And her first serve was...
Naomi, for me, planned well. She executed well. Her movement, I tweeted, I think after the first set, I said her movement was water. You know, she was all over the place. She was hitting the ball sweetly, and Serena had no answers. I actually enjoyed watching that game more than the men's final.
Yeah, I think
for all the drama, obviously, but the tennis was beautiful as well from Naomi.
I think if anyone was going to beat Serena, it was her, because Sasha was Serena's hitting partner for a couple of years and lived with Serena and Venus in Florida. Yeah, so I think he had all the pointers to beat Serena.
Yeah, like I said, she planned that game, or she planned for that game to the T. You know, she had the right people in her corner. She has the right people in her corner, and she went out and executed. Her serve game was on point. Her baseline game was solid, and Serena didn't have answers.
This is why I like the women's game. Because in the women's game, we know who's next in line. We know Sloane Stephens, Madison Keys, and now Naomi Osaka. In the men's game, who's the heir apparent? Like Zverev, Karachov, and Dominic Thiem had an amazing game against Nadal. It was a beautiful game, 5 hours, and which is why Rafa never made it past the semi-final. But we don't. The young men's players, none of them have won a major. It's been Djokovic, Nadal, or Federer in the last 2 years. So the women's game is evolving. We know who's the heir apparent to Serena is. Naomi is next in line for the throne. But the men's game is just stagnant. It's still Djokovic, the way he played. I don't think anybody's going to beat him next year.
Yeah, I was just speaking about Nole. He was brilliant. He's back to full fitness for me. Yeah. He took Del Potro to the red zone. There was, I think there was one.
The 2-minute point.
Yes. Where the celebration from Nole showed all the emotion, you know. That for me was a breaking point for Del Potro, and Nole just took it home. Sorry, the rally. I was looking for it.
Guys, let's just paint the picture, because we know where we're going with this discussion. Paint the picture. Serena had 21 unforced errors. 6 double faults. I don't think she had 6 in the whole tournament. She had 6 double faults, 21 unforced errors, and her first serve percentage was at 55, which is pretty low for Serena. So her back was against the wall, as it is. So your back's against the wall, you're not playing well, and across the other side of the court is a youngster who's playing and moving very well. So when it all unfolds, there's that to think about. But let's look at it diplomatically. First violation. Whether or not she saw it. It is a violation. Your coaching team, much like cricket, your bowlers bowl slowly, they're fine as the captains. So that violation it's a given.
Yeah, fair.
Fair violation. I think where it comes into play is that, she sees it as a character attack. And we must go back to Serena's maybe reputation at Flushing Meadows to go, and I think the line she used is that later on, she said, tell the crowd I was not cheating. Because her reputation at Flushing Meadows is quite important.
Yeah.
You've got the smile on your face.
For me, Snacks, it was not a good look for Serena. Okay, I understand everything that happened. That umpire didn't handle the thing correctly. But Serena was, from where I was sitting as a fan, let's say I'd never watched tennis in the last 10 years. I don't know who Serena was. She looked insufferable. She looked like a lady who was losing and was losing her marbles. And it was not a good look. I love Serena. Serena is the best player in all of sports. The best female sportsman of all time. Without a doubt. She's a trailblazer. You can't touch it. But it was not a good look. And what I hated the most was at the end of the match, she still went after the umpire and destroyed Naomi Osaka's moment. I mean, I watched in '99 when she beat Hingis in the final of the US Open, her first Grand Slam. Yeah. Nobody expected to win. And Hingis gave her moment. That win was overshadowed by her reaction to the whole thing. And I love Serena, but I don't think she should get a break for that. Because now...
I think we can agree that we can be objective and say we love Serena, but I think on the day, it's just that, as you say, the game had a game, set, match, done. She just, maybe straight afterwards as well, she took it just a bit far.
And I think going back to your first question around, your focus is around tell the crowd I'm not cheating. Yeah. That's why we have post-match conferences.
Yes.
To me, if you're concerned about that and you're still playing the game, your head's out of the game. Your head's out of the game. For whatever reasons, maybe it's playing such a big thing on you that this person said, I'm cheating, okay? Yeah. But you'd expect for her mental toughness to be that, okay, I'll suck it up, I'll move on. I do understand that she's got a lot of history where she suffered injustice. Yeah. And it's tough, but you'd kind of still expect that, okay, look, suck this thing up, let's move on. But to the point that Klobbs is making now is that now the game is over. And you are still harping on this particular thing. Again, there is a platform to harp on that particular thing. And
she didn't shake Carlos's hand at the end. Yeah. Sis, I'm going to come to you, is that second violation, we won't even speak about a racket is a racket, So the third one is that a problem I may have with Carlos in giving that, he was well within his right, but any other men's tennis player, call it, he would have had a rapport to go, if you don't stop, I'm going to hand you a set violation.
Yes, yeah.
And I think that's where the discussion comes with the treatment of female versus male tennis player. Yeah. He waits for it to get onto the baseline and go, third violation, a set. So I think we can discuss that a little bit and go, was she wrong? For sure she was wrong. Maybe could he have dealt with it differently? That's a discussion to be had.
Yeah, so Serena's coach and Serena were wrong in terms of the coaching, because he admitted to it. Yeah. He was coaching.
Even if you don't see it as a player,
yes,
she didn't 100%. See it, obviously.
The second one, racket violation.
Yeah.
She was wrong, right? The third one, she now was at if I can call it, for lack of a better term, her wit's end, right? She was under pressure. She was losing the game that she was expected to win, that she expected to win, right? And I think it just boiled over for her, right? And also, they have history. They have history with her sister. They have history. He has history, right? And also she has history now in the US Open as well. Yeah. So I think it was just a culmination of things in her head and in her heart. And I just think her emotions just boiled over. And Carlos, like you said, took the easy route and just sort of pinged her with her.
Which is a lot. I think that's emotions are allowed to flare up. That I want to make a point of. Emotions in sports and female athletes, we're allowed to have emotions. But I think that as the calmer guy in the situation, Carlos could have gone, if you don't stop, here's what's
Exactly,
going to happen.
yeah,
then you
he-
realize where you're at as well, Serena,
Yeah.
because you forget how many yellow cards you're on, and you go in for that slide tackle, becomes a red. So you take just a step back and go,
But
then you
the-
keep quiet.
do you-
And you're on serve, guys.
There is a disparity between how the governance of the males and female players. We saw the videos, and
sure.
this is why people like Billie Jean King, who is well known and who's also a trailblazer in women's tennis, are standing behind Serena. Billie Jean King, if you remember the Battle of the Sexes game with Bobby Riggs,
Yeah.
she's always preached equality between the men's and women's game, and she's standing behind Serena in this regard, because we've seen the disparity with how these things are governed, are handled. So Serena, as much as the moment for Naomi Osaka was destroyed, she's earned it with 23 Grand Slams, and that's why she is who she is, Serena.
And I think
But
that it's
sorry,
probably- yeah.
before we move on, let's bring it back to your main question again. Is yes, Ramos is at liberty. In fact, by the rule book,
Yeah.
he's supposed to issue a fine for that particular
For sure.
thing, and he does that. Your concern is that with the guys, he wouldn't have done that.
No, just the
So-
rapport between the two would have been different.
And again, I think looking at the two things there, you can say Ramos to a certain degree spoiled that game, because you'd have liked an umpire that at that particular point to be the bigger person and actually, as you say, give the final warning that, look, Serena, if you carry on, I'm going to dock you again, to say that
Yes.
you're already on a yellow card.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to get a red now.
Oh,
Okay.
exactly.
Then also, I think from Serena's side too, is to know that, okay, as much as I'm emotional, it's a short space of time amongst this intensity flaring between us. It's the violation one for coaching.
Coaching violation.
It's I've just slammed my racket, and then it's now I'm actually giving you a piece of my mind. So you already kind of know that you are threading on a thin line.
Yeah.
I think also, and I think that's what really got her upset, is that she never thought that by calling you a thief, you are actually going to take a game.
Yeah.
To her, it was a sense of, before you take a game, I'm probably going to need to use vulgar language.
which
before you
men
take
which
a
men
game.
have used.
Which men
Yeah.
have used, and
gotten away with.
I get that particular thing. So yeah, look, you can look at it on both sides. I think if to sum it up, both Ramos and Serena at that particular I think both of them didn't cover themselves
Yeah.
in glory.
We probably will see a real change stemming from this. It's
Yeah.
got to happen. Coaching, let it happen, because it happens already. It happens around. Uncle Tony did it for Nadal for the longest time, and I think to open it up and make it fair, let the guys get signals or whatever. That's as a sportsman, you can see so much and you can control so much. You do need a little bit of extra help.
Yeah, that's what Billie Jean King tweeted, is that coaching should be allowed in tennis. And she was basically standing by everything what Serena was angry about at the whole situation. So, things like this happen. But now, if this thing happened 20 years ago, before Twitter and social media, there wouldn't be as much outcry as we have now. Because you know how social media has changed the platform. It would have happened.
All the time.
So I think social media as well, because this thing trended. As soon as it happened, you woke up in the morning and you woke up to it.
Some radio journalists were still talking about it this morning.
Even this morning,
Yeah, and I think for me, the saddest thing, and you mentioned earlier, Klops, I think the saddest thing out of this whole outcome is that poor Naomi Osaka's moment.
Who would have beaten Serena too low?
Yeah,
6-2, maybe 6-4.
Suppose the direct Serena fan was still debatable, but the fact of the matter, what I'm trying to drive is her moment was taken by Ramos and Serena. Fine, Serena did try to give it back to her in the end, but she also needs to take responsibility to a certain extent of taking it. Yeah. And I think the point that Usisa mentions that now the game is over. Okay, this person has beaten you and you're still ranting. Yeah. So indirectly, it's still kind of saying that I'm publicly feeling that had you not actually interfered the way you did, okay, the outcome may have been particularly different.
At 4-3, we could have gone to 4.
You could have gone.
Yeah, no one knows. But at that stage,
the momentum was sportsmanship 101 in that particular thing says, you know what, in this particular moment, suck it up, okay? Hold in front of the crowd. You're going to get your moment in the press conference where you can actually blast the whole situation.
Okay, fair enough. I think we agree on that one. Before there was a bit of banter going, which side a guy's going to weigh on. Right, I think we've wrapped that up. I think Serena knows probably where she is right now, that she was probably in the wrong. we've got a future star. Naomi Osaka played a brilliant tennis match, and she's one to look out for the future. If she can beat Sharapova, I'll be even more happier. Right. Follow us on @GridSports, #Beyond the Final Whistle, and join in on the conversation.